an Israeli ministry has drafted what is being dubbed as a wartime proposal. And the proposal is this. It seeks to transfer the Palestinian population in the Gaza Strip of 2.3 million people, uproot them from their homes and their ancestral lands, and then push them into the Sinai Desert in Egypt. Now, this draft plan by the Israelis is drawing widespread condemnations amidst the worsening tensions in the region. Even Egypt has condemned this plan. Now, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office is trying to play down this report that's been compiled by the intelligence ministry in Israel. It says that this is some kind of a hypothetical plan and it is in the nature of a concept paper. In effect, what this plan is tantamount to is ethnic cleansing and the eviction of people from their homes and a permanent displacement and depopulation of a territory. And this is a plan that has now deepened the long-standing fears, Egyptian fears, that Israel wants to make Gaza into Egypt's problem. For the Palestinians, this document has, of course, revived those horrific and tragic memories of the Nakba, where in the years leading up to 1948, an estimated 750,000 Palestinians were driven out from their ancestral lands. An estimated 15,000 Palestinians, remember, had been massacred in some of the most horrific massacres that were witnessed in the aftermath of the Second World War in what was then Palestine, which resulted in the creation of Israel in 1948. A spokesperson for the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has said, and I quote him here, "We are against this forced transfer to take place in any form, and we consider this to be a red line that we will not allow to be crossed." The presidential spokesperson has further added, what happened in 1948 will not be allowed to happen again to the Palestinian people. Now remember, so far, 8,000 Palestinians, most of them are civilians, have been bombarded and killed in this relentless campaign of Israeli bombing that has been carried out right from the 7th of October onwards. Almost 20,000 Palestinians have sustained some serious injuries, and at least about 3,000 plus who've been killed in this campaign of relentless bombardment by the Israelis are said to be children. Now, this controversial document that talks of a population transfer of the Palestinians from the Gaza Strip into the Sinai Desert is dated the 13th of October. It reportedly was drafted just 6 days after the Hamas fighters had carried out their biggest incursion into Israel and had taken nearly about 200 Israelis hostage. In its report, the intelligence ministry that conducts the research has said that this is not a set policy, but it is one of the alternatives that has been offered to effect a significant change in the civilian reality in the Gaza Strip. The document proposes the forceful eviction of the 2.3 million Palestinians from the Gaza Strip and to shift them into a tent city in northern Sinai Desert and then build some kind of a permanent settlement fixture and also use an undefined humanitarian corridor. A security zone would be established inside of Israel to block displaced Palestinians from entering. So while you have these Israeli defense spokespeople who go on talking that the displacement in Gaza is temporary, what this document by the Israeli intelligence ministry makes it clear is that the displacement of the Palestinian people is again bound to be permanent. The Palestinians have slammed this as another attempt by the Israelis for a land grab. Now, what is also interesting is that this report does not say as to what will become of the Gaza Strip once its population, the Palestinian population, is cleared out. Now, Egypt, for its part, has made it clear throughout this latest war that it does not want to take in a wave of Palestinian refugees that Israel is creating. Egypt has long feared that Israel actually wants to force a permanent expulsion of the Palestinians into its territory, as it happened during the war surrounding Israel's independence back in 1948. This was the creation of Israel, which happened in the aftermath of the expulsion of the Palestinian people. And populations were expelled out of Palestine in 1948 and also in 1967, when Israel had captured large swathes of territory along with the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The vast majority of Gaza's population are the descendants of Palestinian refugees who already are uprooted from what has now been created as Israel. The Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has said that a mass influx of Palestinian refugees from Gaza would actually eliminate the Palestinian nationalist cause altogether. He has said that it would also risk bringing militants into the Sinai Peninsula, from where they might try and launch attacks on Israel. And this kind of a scenario would endanger the country's 1979 peace treaty. The Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has proposed that Israel should actually house the Palestinians in the Negev desert, which neighbors the Gaza Strip within the state of Israel. If Israel is keen on ensuring that the Palestinians in Gaza are not harmed, then they should actually transfer the Palestinian civilians to a different place within Israel. Why is it that Israel can't do that? Now, Egypt has said that it would not want an influx of more Palestinian refugees. The document speaks about Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates supporting the plan either financially or by taking in uprooted residents of Gaza as refugees, and in the long term to take them in as citizens. Now, what is interesting about this Israeli document is that it also adds Canada's lenient immigration policy and makes it a potential resettlement target. Israel wants to uproot the Palestinians and send them as far away as Canada. The document acknowledges the proposal is liable to be complicated in terms of international legitimacy. An Israeli official familiar with the document has said that it is not binding and that there is no substantive discussion on it with security officials. Netanyahu's office has called it as a concept paper, the likes of which are prepared at all levels of the government and its security agencies. Now, the Prime Minister's office has stated the issue of the day after has not been discussed in any official forum in Israel, which is focused at this time on destroying the military capabilities of Hamas. But what is being talked about now is that because this relentless campaign of bombing by Israel and also Israel's demand that the Gaza population should shift south, what Israel is trying to do is to shift the entire Palestinian population out of Gaza to bring about this plan, to bring to effect this plan to depopulate the Gaza Strip and to annex it.